Good morning, everyone. Bonjour à tous. Very special day, and particularly for me, making an announcement here at home in my riding, here in Vancouver, alongside the Prime Minister, the Premier, and Minister Boyle, alongside a number of our BC MPs as well. I'll just introduce the team who's here from, we just finishing up in Ottawa, Parm Baines, Wade Chong, Patrick Weiler, and Zoe Royer. And we also have Suk Dhaliwal and Randeep Sarai here. I'll let the Premier introduce his team from the provincial side. And first and foremost, I want to acknowledge our hosts here on the site, West Group and the whole team who are building the River District, an extraordinary neighborhood here in Vancouver. Vancouver's fastest growing neighborhood, I think, at this point, and fantastic housing with a mix of affordability, which is great work by many people over many years and coming to fruition here. As former mayor of Vancouver, I saw the difference that housing and infrastructure investments can make for our communities. But for most of my years, we were missing federal and provincial leadership that was needed to get everyone around the table to build that essential infrastructure, that essential housing and transit. Je suis très heureux que maintenant, sous le leadership du Premier ministre Mark Carney, nous pouvons avancer avec notre plan pour bâtir un Canada fort. Now we have federal and provincial leadership alongside the community and a clear plan with a shared sense of purpose. We are delivering results by working together across all levels of government. And there is a deep alignment here with the BC government, and we've already forged a solid partnership on affordable housing. Better transit, community infrastructure, and local services don't just improve the quality of life, though. They help spur that housing, the development of housing, alongside job opportunities and stronger communities. And that's exactly what today's announcement is about, because building more homes, we need to build the infrastructure that makes that possible. And this is part of that broader effort. So the Build Canada Homes BC Housing Partnership is supporting home building and affordability across the province. Alors que nos communautés grandissent, on choisit d'être là, on bâtit des partenariats et un Canada fort. Through the Building Communities Strong Fund and Strong Transit Fund, we are going to make investments with BC in the infrastructure that supports our growing communities. And with that, it is my great honor to welcome Canada's Prime Minister, Mark Carney. Merci.
Thank you all. Wow, so good to be here. Good afternoon. I think we just made it to afternoon. Good afternoon. Premier Eby, what a pleasure. I'm going to say more about Premier Eby in a moment. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Well, it depends. Most of it's good. Ministers Robertson, Boyle, Ma, Farnsworth, Osborne, and Green. I think I've got that all. Mike, caucus colleagues from Ottawa, finishing up a great session in Ottawa, great legislation that's moved forward, including making our communities safer and building the country, protecting nature, building the environment. It is always, this is the safest sentence to say, always great to be back in Vancouver, and especially great to be here on game day. Canada Guitar a few hours from now in BC Place. Also, somewhere around this great city is our Secretary of State, Adam Van Couverden, who is Canada's FIFA Sherpa. That is great work if you can get it. And somehow, I guess you get a gold medal, good things happen to you. Adam is our FIFA Sherpa. I said I was going to say a few more words about Premier Eby, and there's much I can say, but I just want to congratulate the Premier, the province of British Columbia, City of Vancouver, for showcasing the best of Canada and of the beautiful game. I mean, we are welcoming the FIFA World Cup here. It is the pinnacle of sport. More than 350,000 fans will come to Canada, to Vancouver. Yes, that will create thousands of jobs. Yes, it will add hundreds of millions, indeed billions, to the Canadian economy. But by far the most important element will be the experience of the world coming together to celebrate when it needs it the most. And there is no better place to do it than right here, right now. Alors que le monde converge vers Vancouver, il découvrira une province aussi ambitieuse que magnifique. Dans un monde en évolution rapide, nous nous inspirons de l'histoire et du dynamisme de la Colombie-Britannique pour rebâtir. Now, our federal government is now building big. New ports, mines, energy, and trade corridors, literally from coast to coast to coast. And of the 22 projects and strategies we're advancing through the nation building strategy, I should say, advancing through the major projects office, 1/3 are in British Columbia. That includes transformative projects like the Northwest Critical Conservation Corridor, which will unlock critical mineral development and clean power while creating a conservation area the size of Greece, and all in full partnership with First Nations. Projects that unlock Canadian energy, including LNG Canada Phase 2 in Kitimat, which will double our LNG production, and the Niska Nation-led Silicium project on Pierce Island, one of the lowest emission LNG facilities in the world. And I'm literally just back from the G7 in France, where it was clear that the world wants to partner with Canada, from those critical minerals to artificial intelligence created in the research institutes here and the startups, to agriculture and clean tech. And it welcomes the potential for Canada to deliver significant additional energy at a time when energy security and affordability are the focus of literally billions of people around the world. Au cours de la dernière année, nous avons conclu plus de 20 partenariats économiques et de sécurité, de l'Inde à la Corée en passant par la France, et toutes veulent plus d'énergie et d'innovation de la Colombie-Britannique. So we're building big and connecting global, but most importantly, we're building local and connecting people. We're building new hospitals, transit, and wastewater systems through what Gregor just mentioned, the new $51 billion federal Build Community Strong Fund. We've already launched 37 projects, including the Marpole Community Center here in Vancouver. In September, we launched Build Canada Homes. We launched it as an entity in a few hours, I believe. Just passed. Look at that. Gregor moves faster. Just passed, just received royal assent. So officially, Build Canada Homes, the agency, has passed. It was passed the Senate. Well, we've got a new Governor General. She's very focused. I'm sure it'll have a royal assent by the summer or by the afternoon. The point is, Build Canada Homes, this entity, designed to catalyze an entirely new housing industry that's more affordable, more sustainable, more Canadian. And in just a few months, under Minister Robertson's leadership, we've committed to build more than 11,000 new homes through 14 partnerships across this country, including 700 units here in BC and a lot more to come. There's 4,500 units already under construction or about to break ground in the next 3 months. En mars, nous avons déposé un projet de loi qui permettra de débloquer 1,5 milliard de dollars en fonds fédéraux pour aider les provinces et les territoires à réduire le coût de la construction de logements. Et depuis, nous avons affecté plus de 280 millions de dollars spécifiquement à la Colombie-Britannique. Now, we know, above all in the Lower Mainland, there are challenges. There have been challenges in the housing market, but there are now signs of real progress. Rents are starting to come down. Affordability is beginning to improve. Rents are now at a 20-month low. The rent-to-income ratio has fallen to its lowest level in over 6 years. Vancouver, rent for a one-bedroom apartment down 6% over the last year. Now's the time to reinforce that progress by tackling housing from every angle. Some of the issues, BC, not enough affordable homes are being built. Emphasis on affordable. So demand continues to outpace supply. And at the same time, there's too many completed condos sitting empty. Metro Vancouver alone, around 2,500 finished units are standing vacant with no buyers. With higher interest rates, weaker investment demand, developers are stuck. They don't want to sell at a loss. They can't afford to hold those empty units indefinitely. And the problem is that those empty homes don't just sit idle. They also disincentivize new construction, unsettle lenders and investors, create a housing market that, in effect, feels frozen. Result, too many British Columbians still can't find the homes that they can afford. Nous changeons tout cela avec un plan qui s'attaque directement à ces défis afin de libérer l'offre de logement et d'améliorer l'accessibilité au logement. So today, with the Premier, we're pleased to announce that Canada and British Columbia have reached a landmark new agreement to help build more homes, to bring down housing costs, and modernize infrastructure across the province. We'll do this by working together to reduce development charges. We will convert vacant condos into affordable housing, and we will invest in community infrastructure from schools and hospitals to public transit. Now, I mentioned development charges. They're one of the biggest barriers to new homes. These are the fees that are charged to developers that help fund the infrastructure needed to support new housing. That means water mains, roads, parks, community facilities. Ils peuvent retarder des projets avant même que ceux-ci ne démarrent. Et lorsque le logement est mis sur le marché, les coûts cachés sont bien souvent transférés aux acheteurs et aux locataires. So through the Build Community Strong Fund, Canada will invest $1.6 billion in community infrastructure over the next decade. The BC government will match that investment. So that means $3.2 billion to finance the infrastructure communities need to support that housing, all while reducing municipal development charges that often get passed on to home buyers. Result, more people can afford homes and they get great infrastructure alongside it. Under this agreement, development charges on multi-unit housing projects across BC will be reduced by up to 50%, 50%, for the next 3 years. That means lower upfront costs, greater certainty for builders, more affordable homes for you to buy or rent. That could mean for a new unit, reducing costs by up to $40,000. Now, there's another thing we can do, and we're working together to do, which is to increase housing supply by making better use of units that already have been built. And to that end, we're announcing today that Canada and BC will have a new partnership on condo conversion. We're going to leverage innovative financing tools from Build Canada Homes to convert thousands of vacant condos into affordable homes. C'est l'une des moyens les plus rapides et les plus efficaces d'augmenter l'offre de logement, transformer les biens immobiliers inoccupés en logements abordables. Au cours des prochains mois, nos gouvernements officieront ce partenariat et commenceront à remettre sur le marché des logements abordables d'ici cet automne. So by the fall, we'll work to offer these condos on the market. Finally, we will increase the housing supply across the province. As we do so, with our various programs, we'll also build that essential new community infrastructure. That means new and improved transit systems, hospitals, community centers. We're providing $50 million to support community infrastructure projects, water systems, in coastal communities, and with priority projects in Terrace and Prince Rupert. We are deploying $2.5 billion to the Canada Public Transit Fund to build new transit infrastructure projects, bus routes, modernize transit networks across BC, including support for projects such as the Surrey-Langley SkyTrain extension. 8 new stations along the Fraser Highway, an expansion that will significantly reduce commute times, allow commuters to spend more time with their families. Okay, so I'll give an example, a trip from Langley Centre to King George Station taking just 22 minutes. Now, this is true across the country, but it's also true here in BC. In many communities, hospitals were built back in the 1970s. And here, because of the growth of British Columbia, that means those hospitals are serving populations twice the size they were designed for originally. Families have to wait too long for the care that they need. So we've agreed to partner with the province to upgrade and expand hospital rooms, emergency rooms, urgent care centers, medical schools, and other critical health facilities. We'll each contribute more than $600 million so that more British Columbians can get faster health care when they need it. And I want to take a minute to speak about one particularly important part of today's announcement. Back in February, dark days of February, and they were dark days, the Premier and I, and many of you, but the Premier and I went to Tumbler Ridge in the wake of the horrific shooting at the secondary school. We sat down, we heard directly from the students, their parents, their teachers. We talked to the first responders, the neighbors, friends. And we talked about what could be done to begin to help heal from that trauma, that loss, unspeakable tragedy. And the Premier and I, amongst other things, we promised that we would be there for the community as they rebuild. And to that end, the federal government and the BC government are announcing today that we will each provide $100 million to build an entirely new school and a modernized healthcare center for the Tumbler Ridge community. A new school for bright kids to learn, grow, and dream, and better facilities for the incredible healthcare workers who support those in need. Construction will begin this summer, starting with the removal of the existing school. I want to thank again Premier Eby for his partnership both on such vital local community projects as well as on major nation building projects as we collectively build at a scale and speed not seen in generations. I also want to thank him because we both share, and our governments both share, the conviction that it's not just what we build, but it's how we build. Building sustainably, with a relentless focus on lowering emissions. Building inclusively, in full partnership with First Nations. And building in solidarity with workers. Afin de bâtir un Canada qui n'est pas seulement fort, mais aussi bon. Un Canada qui n'est pas seulement prospère, mais aussi juste et abordable. Un Canada qui ne fonctionne pas pour quelques-uns la plupart du temps, mais pour toutes et tous tout le temps. We're building British Columbia strong and a Canada strong, and we're building for all. Thank you very much for your attention, and it now gives me great pleasure to introduce the Premier of British Columbia, David Eby.
Thank you very much, Prime Minister. We are so glad to have you here in British Columbia. I'm joined by my colleague, Susie Chin, from the North Shore. She, in her community, is C-SPAN, where they're building the ships right now under a national shipbuilding strategy to protect and defend Canada and reestablish our seafaring capacity in the country. Nikki Sharma, our Attorney General, that worked with your team on delivering meaningful reforms around the criminal law, and super appreciative of your team's efforts to get that all across the line. Jesse Sunner, who is working on a $250 million training fund for young people so that they can get the skilled trades training that they need on the major projects that they're working on delivering for Canadians together. Sunita Deer, who has been working overtime to ensure that people who arrive in Canada, new arrivals, get the skills, get their experience recognized so that they can get to work. Gary Begg, our caucus chair, who helps keep everybody together in a line, former police officer from Surrey, and Amna Shah at the end of the line, who's working on our anti-racism strategy, among other pieces. This is your hardworking BC team here in British Columbia. And of course, we'll have the housing minister speak in a moment. Did I miss? George Chow. George Chow. You know, this is George Chow's constituency, I think. And he's hosting us here. This neighborhood that we're in is probably the fastest growing neighborhood in Vancouver. George has welcomed 4,500 new constituents on a former industrial site here. There's maybe 15,000 people here that he makes feel welcome and advocates for as an incredibly effective MLA, and also our liaison with Chinatown and often with the Chinese community broadly in British Columbia as we prepare for a trade mission to China. Prime Minister, what I want to say here, and by these introductions, what I want to tell you is, if you want to diversify trade relationships around the world, and I know you do, you speak to it all the time, eloquently on the global stage, on the national stage, we are passionate about your vision. British Columbia is the place that is delivering that for you. We have the major projects to move the needle on national gross domestic product, creating jobs for Canadians from every corner of the province, creating revenues to pay for the public services that people depend on. If your goal is to build housing, that's what we're all about here in British Columbia. We've been working on this for a while, cracking down on speculators, ensuring that Airbnb is for vacation, not for displacing the workers in the tourism community, and building 5 times more rental housing than the previous government, delivering more than 100,000 homes for British Columbians. And if you want to host an international sports event, Prime Minister, let me tell you, we are proud to be recognized by Sports Illustrated as the #1 host city of the World Cup in North America here in British Columbia. And I got to tell you, the vibes out there are unbelievable. Your timing is impeccable, Prime Minister. My sincere hope is that we're going to be able to take in this game with Qatar, and not just take in this game, potentially a win for Team Canada. If Vancouver can deliver that for you, if British Columbia can deliver that for you, I don't know why you'd go anywhere else in Canada, to be totally honest with you. So this is an important announcement for us. This is, to my mind, this is a housing announcement. This is a commitment of the federal government, $5 billion over 10 years, commitment from the provincial government on matching funding to ensure that we're doing a couple of things. Making sure that people are going to be able to actually move into the housing that's being built in British Columbia by reducing the costs of constructing those new homes, including homes like those behind me right now. The second part is recognizing that there is existing housing stock available that's been built that people would love to move into. They would love to make it their first home to buy, but they can't afford it. And that working together at the federal and provincial level with the private sector, we can open those homes up and give people a pathway to affordable home ownership. Building homes is one piece, but in order for a community to be functional, you need the services around it as well. You need the schools, the hospitals, the urgent primary care centers, the transit. And this announcement is about that as well. It reflects new and additional contributions by the federal government to initiatives here in British Columbia around enhancing healthcare, urgent primary care centers, improvements to emergency rooms, operating rooms, critical health infrastructure. It means additional investments, badly needed investments, in transit to reduce traffic on our roads and give people an opportunity to get to where they want to get faster. And if that's a World Cup game, I will reflect on the fact that more than 1 million people took transit, a new record for TransLink for the first game of the World Cup. And I hesitate to mention it, but it is even more than took transit in the Taylor Swift concert, Eras concert. So we're setting new records here. The demand is huge and the contribution is meaningful from the federal government here. Together, British Columbia, the federal government, working to build a strong and united Canada in this incredibly challenging time for families in British Columbia, in Canada, and around the world. In a time of instability, today's announcement is an important symbol to me of the shared commitment between the provincial and the federal government to make life better for British Columbians in a time when things are challenging. And it's evidence that governments can work together to improve the quality of life for people. And that is the goal, I know, of every single person that's standing up here for this announcement and our whole caucus within the BC NDP government. So again, colleagues, federal colleagues, it's great to see you. I hope you have great times in the celebrations today, whether you're in a fan zone or on Granville Street or wherever. We're so excited to have you here at this moment. And I want to thank you for your shared partnership in this work that we're doing together to build up beautiful British Columbia and our entire country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Premier Eby. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your cleanup speaker here, so I will be brief, but so excited to be working in partnership with the federal government to be here with so many dedicated colleagues across both levels of government on this announcement. People across BC are feeling real pressure, the cost of rent, trying to buy a first home, or simply finding a place that works for their family and loved ones. Housing is one of the biggest sources of stress for people trying to stay in their community, for seniors looking for stability, or families wondering if home ownership is within reach. Our job is to stay focused on what matters most, building more homes faster and more affordably, removing barriers and supporting communities as they grow, because housing and infrastructure go hand in hand. We can't build homes without water systems and roads and good transit, and we can't do it if costs are too high to keep projects moving. That's why this work matters, and why Canada and BC are making billions in investments to continue to see projects move forward, turning empty lots into homes and making sure people can see and feel real progress in their communities and in their lives. Since 2017, we as a government have made a historic $19 billion investment in homes for people. We now have more than 99,000 homes delivered or underway in communities all across British Columbia. Asking rents are now consistently going down faster here than anywhere else in Canada, saving British Columbians thousands of dollars every year. Vacancy rates are going up, offering more choice for renters and the ability, in many cases, to negotiate their cost of rent. And rental construction has tripled in 2025 compared to what it was 10 years earlier. By working together across governments, we're taking practical steps to build more homes in strong and vibrant communities. Thank you, and I'll invite Prime Minister Carney back up to answer media questions. Or whoever.
Exactly.
Yes,
just to be
great.
clear,
The group project.
you're welcome to ask anyone. If you're standing up here, you can get a question and you can answer. So
We'll turn.
we all.
All right, I'm going to cut it there. I hope you'll leave your questions in the comment area. We'll be back. Like, follow, and subscribe. Have a good evening.